Crypto Pirates Daily News, February 16, 2022. News headlines. A letter from our BlockFi founders to all its clients. The Coinbase Super Bowl ad causes their website and app to crash. Canada uses the Emergencies Act in order to regulate crowdfunding and cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency investors are taking a safety net before the March rate rise. To entice crypto firms, Israel seeks precise and clear laws. A letter from our BlockFi founders to all its clients. We are pleased to share that today we have reached an agreement with U.S. federal and state regulators, outlining a clear path forward for BlockFi and for Americans to earn crypto interest. Today's resolution outlines the finer points of that agreement, and we wanted to share some additional context with you all. At BlockFi, we envision a world where blockchain-powered financial products and services accelerate prosperity worldwide by providing more access and better economic outcomes. We are proud to have reached this agreement, which creates a foundational path forward for our U.S. clients and the wider crypto industry. What's along this path? Put simply, increased regulatory clarity we've been hoping for. We were the first crypto company to receive a state-level license to issue crypto-backed loans to U.S. consumers in 2018, and this is the next major example of how we prioritize cooperation with regulators. With today's resolution, we are leading the creation of a new regulatory landscape for crypto and our clients. As we shared earlier, we intend to file or confidentially submit a registration statement to the SEC for BlockFi Yield, a new crypto interest-bearing security. What does this mean for you, our clients? Existing US BlockFi Interest Account (BIA) clients will maintain their accounts and will continue to receive interest as they always have. BIA clients based in the United States may not add further assets into their BIAs. Once the BlockFi Yield registration statement is declared effective by the SEC, BIAs of U.S. clients will be exchanged for BlockFi Yield, and you will be able to add incremental assets to your account, unless clients instruct us otherwise. All U.S. clients will receive an email and in-product communications with further details on changes to their client experience. If you have questions, please contact our client success team. Existing and prospective BlockFi clients outside of the US are unaffected by these changes and continue to have full access to the platform, including opening new BIAs and adding assets to existing BIAs. The path to broad crypto adoption is one that has included some mountaintop views, the latest all-time high, and deep valleys, crypto winter, over the years. We have worked tirelessly with regulators on your behalf to chart this exciting path forward, and we look forward to our next chapter of pioneering innovative, crypto-powered products for our clients worldwide. We thank you for continuing on this journey with us and will continue working hard to deliver more value to you through our products and services. With gratitude, Zach, Flory and the BlockFi team.
The Coinbase Super Bowl ad causes their website and app to crash. Coinbase, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is under fire after its Super Bowl ad promised free cryptocurrency to the public. The $20 million advertisement, which aired during the biggest NFL game of the year and was seen by approximately 200 million people, offered $15 in free cryptocurrency. Coinbase's advertisement, which reportedly cost the company around $14 million, simply displayed a QR code that viewers were supposed to scan with their phones. The user was then supposed to be redirected to a different page where they would receive their free cryptocurrency. However, due to the high volume of traffic, the website was unable to handle the onslaught, resulting in some disgruntled customers. Despite the disaster, people praised the advertisement's minimalistic approach, which was reminiscent of a DVD player's screensaver, with the code bouncing around the screen. Some even went so far as to say that the website crash would benefit Coinbase in the long run, as mention of the incident lingered on Twitter long after the game had ended. Ukraine is tense. Tensions on the Russia-Ukraine border have remained high as Russia threatens to invade Ukraine. Conflict between the two countries, which may elicit involvement from the US and its allies, will have an impact on the global economy, on top of rising oil prices, which are already a source of concern. According to analysts, the conflict is likely to create uncertainty in the crypto market, putting upward pressure on crypto prices. If the conflict and political instability result in the closure of banks and a drop in the value of currencies around the world, crypto's use case as a transparent peer-to-peer money transfer system may be put to the test. This is due to the fact that cryptocurrency may provide citizens with access to capital in the event that banks fail. This has recently been the case in Myanmar, where rebels have attempted to destabilize the militant government that took power in a coup about a year ago. In this case, funding for the rebels was obtained using cryptocurrency, which is untraceable and anonymous.
Canada uses the Emergencies Act in order to regulate crowdfunding and cryptocurrency. The terrorist financing regulations have been expanded to encompass crypto transactions to demonstrators, and the government now has the authority to seize bank accounts. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada has invoked the Emergencies Act, authorizing him to freeze the bank accounts of Freedom Convoy demonstrators and monitor large and suspicious transactions, including cryptocurrency. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland stated during a February 14 press conference that this latest tactical maneuver against protesters expands the scope of the terrorist financing rules. It is directed at crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers who facilitate their operations. These modifications apply to all types of transactions, including those involving digital assets such as cryptocurrency. Protesters had together raised more than $19 million using the fundraising platforms GoFundMe and GiveSendGo. However, those monies have been redirected away from the convoy, prompting some to arrange a Bitcoin fundraising round, BTC. Through the Tallycoin BTC fundraising tool, the Honk Honk Hodl organization raised 22 BTC worth approximately $1 million. Honk Honk Hodl ceased operations of their Tallycoin page on February 15 after exceeding their fundraising goal. These cash are scheduled to be delivered to demonstrators in the near future. While GoFundMe cooperated with Canadian authorities and repaid donations, GiveSendGo suffered an information leak that exposed the identities of thousands of donors to the Freedom Convoy, according to Michael Telen at Daily Dot. There is currently no word about the disposition of the convoy's funds. Prior to Trudeau's statement, Quebec Premier François Legault stated that using the Emergencies Act would throw gasoline on the flames. Trudeau emphasized, though, that the emergency powers will be used temporarily and in a highly targeted manner. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association argued today that by invoking the Emergencies Act, the Prime Minister exceeded his authority. The federal government has not satisfied the threshold for invoking the Emergencies Act, it stated. This law establishes a high and unambiguous criterion for a good reason. The Act enables the government to circumvent normal democratic processes. This standard has been violated. At the moment, it is unclear which payments will be banned. Freeland stated simply that all crowdfunding sites must report large and suspicious transactions to FinTrack, Canada's Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Centre. Crypto advocates such as Preston Pysh, founder of Pylon Holding Company, have expressed cynical delight at the adoption potential shown by the Freedom Convoy. Pysh responded to Freeland's tweet today, writing, "What an advertisement for Bitcoin."
Cryptocurrency investors are taking a safety net before the March rate rise. Analytics company Glassnode sees a lot of signs that investors are bracing for a bad storm because the Fed is going to raise interest rates in March. On-chain data from Glassnode shows that Bitcoin investors are hedging their bets in order to avoid a rise in interest rates from the Federal Reserve in March, which would be bad for them. In Glassnode's The Week on-Chain newsletter from February 14th, they say that the flat futures term structure through March is the most important thing going on with Bitcoin, BTC. Investors aren't sure how a tighter US dollar will affect the rest of the world's economy. In the short term, the rate hike has already been taken into account, says Cointelegraph contributor Michał van de Poppy. But it's still not clear what the long-term effects will be. So, Glassnode found that investors are taking steps to protect themselves from the low downside risk. Investors appear to be cutting back on their debt and using derivatives markets to protect against risk and buy protection against the Fed rate hikes that are expected in March. While the data clearly shows that the futures term structure curve is flat, it also suggests that investors aren't expecting a big rise in prices through the end of 2022. The annualized premium on futures is only 6% right now, but it's going to go up. It is the amount that someone will pay for the risk of a futures contract each year in extra money. A higher premium means that the person wants to take more risks. On-chain data from Glassnode shows that Bitcoin investors are hedging their bets in order to avoid a rise in interest rates from the Federal Reserve in March, which would be bad for them. Another sign that investors aren't feeling very confident is that they're slowly but surely cutting back on their debt by closing futures positions on their own. Such de-risking has led to what Glassnode sees as a drop in total futures open interest from 2% to 1.76% of the total crypto market cap. It looks like there is a preference for protection, conservative leverage, and a careful approach to storm clouds on the way. Tom Lee, the managing partner of Fundstrat, agrees that there are going to be a lot of problems for traditional investments like bonds in the next few years. He told CNBC on February 14 that because of a change in interest rates, for the next 10 years, you're going to lose money if you own bonds. That's almost $60 trillion of the $142 trillion. However, Lee said that the $60 trillion is likely to go into crypto, where investors will be able to keep getting a return on their money that matches or may even outperform the return they got from bonds. Then, he said, some of the money that comes in from equities is going to be speculative. It's going to come from bonds, and it's going to end up in crypto. Exchange outflows keep going. Outflows from exchanges of Bitcoin are still hugely outpacing inflows. This is despite the fact that many people are taking a lot of risk before the Fed raises interest rates. Net outflows have been at a rate of 42,900 BTC per month for the last 3 weeks. Until last October, this was the highest amount of money that people were taking out. The price of Bitcoin went up to a new all-time high of about $69,000 in November. Those that have kept their Bitcoins inactive for at least 156 days are still in charge of the circulating supply because they have about 13.34 million BTC. Since the October 2021 high, only 175,000 BTC has been sold by long-term investors, which shows support for the recent $33,000 low and a need for more coins.
To entice crypto firms, Israel seeks precise and clear laws. Governments all over the world are imposing significant penalties on cryptocurrency firms. Notably, China has already barred cryptocurrency companies from operating in the region. Simultaneously, several other countries are investigating such firms or have already banned them. Notably, Israel's financial regulator will host its first technology hackathon as part of a larger effort to monitor the country's burgeoning fintech industry. It is also announced that the event will be held on March 24, 2022, in Tel Aviv by the Israel Securities Authority, ISA. The Israeli government wants to attract blockchain ideas. The financial authorities are hoping to attract more blockchain-based ideas in conjunction with the hackathon that will be held next month. Such events and ideas, according to the ISA, would help strengthen their national infrastructure, which supports the Israeli securities and sovereign debt markets. Anat Getter, the ISA's chairwoman, stated in a recent interview that the crypto and blockchain hackathon is part of a larger push by Israel's leading financial technology regulator. The event will help them communicate directly with experts in fintech innovation and begin developing the skills needed for the country's long-term goals of regulating the crypto and fintech industries. Furthermore, Getter emphasized that the event's main motivation is to facilitate the transfer of technology from a development environment to applications in a large-scale live environment. In addition, the initiative would bring to light a variety of technological, business, and regulatory concerns. The Israeli government should encourage cryptocurrency ventures. The chairwomen intend to encourage other national authorities to support crypto ventures by organizing the event and focusing on the goal of improving their infrastructure. As a result, these ventures should incorporate new technologies into the nation's current capital market infrastructure. When it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain, the ISA's chairwoman admitted that regulators are lagging behind in terms of technology. ISA is attempting to strike a balance by monitoring and enforcing industry regulations while also staying current on the latest innovative advancements from around the world. According to Getter, the ultimate goal is to gain the necessary power to supervise and build the new market for new participants. The regulator believes it understands the regulation, and as in many other fields, regulatory clarity is the license to operate. We hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this video. Please let us know your opinion in the comments area below. If you found our content useful, please like it and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more crypto-related contents.